Afternoon, VC, Harris here with HP with some more LPs and no CDs. There you go, snappy. That's what I'm all about. I don't know about anyone else. I kind of don't really feel like didn't particularly feel like doing a video really with the latest world news, and it's quite a mixed Eastern European community around here. I've got a couple of Ukrainians that live in this block of flats here, and I take a Russian girl in at work, and the only good thing I can say is everyone seems to be met in a confusion at what's going on at the moment. I've got to say, I do find it quite hard to watch news channels showing families in Ukrainian railway underground stations sleeping for the night, and then me plonking a load of money down for vinyl, which is I'm having some sort of conflict, and but I don't know. I would say, what can you do? But I don't know really. It's miserable times. But I've spoken to everyone around here, and I say it's a right mixed bunch, a right mixed community. And the only good thing I would say is it seems that everyone has a consistent view of what the F's going on, which is about the only half good thing. But I went to a record fair yesterday, and I won a bit of money on a football accumulator, which was good. And the record fair yesterday had quite a lot of stuff which was fairly cheapish, and yeah, I've pulled some more vinyl. And the first one I went is the Jams or Mod Cons, and I'm not the biggest Jam fan at all, and I know a lot of people on the VCR Jam, especially a lot of the British VCers, and I've always fancied all Mod Cons, and this one too bad. It's got limited edition special price up here, one of those classic sort of 70s 80s scams in it where they just plonk a limited edition on. And the only thing limited about this is they probably put that stamp on about 1,000 of them. Nothing else changing. But this is probably my favourite Jam album. I know the next two were pretty, maybe even rated higher than this, but I've got to say this. I felt they sort of stylistically went a bit too over the boards, and this is when they're at the height of their sort of Who, Beatles, Kinks obsession, and I think this is the one. Apart from Snap, the greatest hits, which is fantastic. This is a killer, especially side 2. It's Too Bad, Fly, The Place I Love, and the last two tracks, A Bomb on Wardour Street, and maybe the Jam's greatest moment, Down in the Tube Station at Midnight, the final track on track 2. But yeah, love this. Got it for a decent price, and sounds fantastic. Yeah, I mean, obviously an early pressing, maybe a first pressing, I don't know, but yeah, the Jam or Mod Cons, absolutely chuffed to get that. Next up, Jazz. Warning, jazz content. I've seen a few people talk about this one on the VC, and I mean, I do love jazz. I started buying jazz records around 92, as I said earlier, because ironically, no one else was buying them, and B, they were cheap, and, which seems ironic now. And when I was about, I mean, at that time, when I bought them, you were viewed with quite deep suspicion buying a jazz album. You were either seen as a massive intellect, or slightly weird, and I'll let you decide which one many people which side many people fell down. But there's a channel called the Rev Rock Rollin' on the VC. He's very good, actually, very good channel, that. And also, what's that guy, the Vinyl Archivist? He seems like a bit of a grumpy bugger, but even he seems to be quite excited by this pressing. I've got to say, Jackie McLean, Destination Out, always fancied this, never bought it. I've got to say, I will back up the other two people I saw talking about it. This is absolutely dynamite. This is on the Blue Note Classics, which is a good little series. I still think they're overpriced. These are, in the UK, these tend to be about 26 quid or what, $30. This is fantastic. Opens up with a ballad. And the great thing is it's got Bobby Hutcherson on Vibes. I'm a huge Vibes fan. Vibes always makes music sound like a sort of lounge, space age lounge core. And the opening track is a ballad called Love and Hate, and it's absolutely magnificent. And it's superb. This is kind of light avant-garde jazz. It's a fantastic pressing. I don't really want to get into pressing too much, but this is absolute dynamite. I really recommend this. If you're dipping your toe into jazz and you want to go slightly more to a left field, but not too much, this is just highly enjoyable. I think this might be this would be top 5 jazz album I've ever heard. It's absolutely superb. As I said, the track Love and Hate is enough for me. It's like a sort of a space age lounge core classic, really. But the vibes help. I mean, I'm a fucking Bobby Hutcherson's dialogue. What an album that is! If you can find Bobby Hutcherson's dialogue as well, superb album. But yeah, really, really recommend this. Fantastic. Next up, found this. This was a good price. The Lilac Time. What's the album called? I think it's called The Lilac Time. Came out in Fontana, 1989, I want to say. It was Stephen Tintin Duffy, or maybe 88 actually. He was in Duran Duran, but then I don't think he actually was on any of Duran Duran's releases. I think he left the band. Then he had a solo career, and he had a big top 10 hit in the UK called Kiss Me, kind of a keyboardy, electronic, new wavy affair. Then I think he got disillusioned, formed the Lilac Time, and this is kind of sort of folk pop, breezy sort of commercial folk pop, very much in the vein of, if anyone knows the band, The Pale Saints or Shack, which might mean something to UK people, or mid-period Go-Betweens. I don't even know how many people know Go-Betweens, but very much of that. And this is fantastic, very, very commercial, very catchy. Yeah, all the Lilac Time stuff's pretty good. This is my only album I've got of theirs, but I've heard a lot of their other stuff, and sort of enjoyable, inoffensive, but actually kind of like a guilty pleasure for me in a way, but just, yeah, just a lovely album, really. Just breezy, acoustic, folk pop, catchy choruses. Not a million miles away from the Lars, actually, but slightly more bucolic than the Lars. Less Mersey beat influence. But yeah, really recommend this. The Lilac Times, opening first album. Got this for a decent price as well, because I think normally this is like a 25 quid record, but yeah, I paid peanuts for this. Next up, I haven't listened to this. The Pale Saints, one of the early sort of shoegaze bands. Came out with the classic song She Rides the Waves, which is a great sort of My Bloody Valentine, distortion, poppy, 1 minute 45 second classic. This is their second EP, I think, called Half-Life. I haven't listened to this yet. Again, this was kind of I knew the guy at the record fair was going to knock off shed loads for me, so I almost chucked this in knowing he would almost give this to me, and I think he did give this to me, to be honest. But yeah, I haven't heard any. It's got, well, I don't know. I can't really comment on it. It's the Pale Saints' second EP, came out in 99, called Half-Life, and yeah, looking forward to hearing this. But yeah, kind of an early shoegaze band, and yeah, well worth listening to She Rides the Waves as well. She Rides the Waves is a fantastic song. Next up, another record fair, and I'm so chuffed to find this, I really am. The new Lee Dorsey, Working in a Coal Mine. Holy cow, I don't know what the album's called. They just seem to have splattered a lot. It's throw enough shit against the wall and something will stick, as my mum used to say. So they got an album title and then one of the. He's best known for working in a coal mine. When I first used to go to youth clubs in the early 80s, and there was a bit of a soul revival going on in the UK, especially I think after Quadrophenia, where that was still big, and those Levi adverts were coming out with all the soul, Jackie Wilson and Sam Cooke and all that. Whenever you go to our youth club, it was pretty much all soul. And Working in a Coal Mine by Lee Dorsey used to get absolutely hammered. I think we only had about 20 soul 7 inches between us, and someone had Working in a Coal Mine. Working in a Coal Mine is killer. The absolute belter is Get Out of My Life Women, which Get Out of My Life Woman is just, it must have been pillared by about 1,000 hip-hop producers. Absolutely marvellous. But this is great. New Orleans soul is fantastic. It's so sort of effervescent, almost verging on novelty, but not novelty. And he had a great track on the soundtrack of The Wanderer called Ya, which is superb. But Lee Dorsey's brilliant. New Orleans soul is fantastic. The best known probably New Orleans soul track is Ernie K. Doe's Here Come the Girls, because Boots used it in an advert in the early 2000s, and then I think it got re-released, and the Sugar Babes covered it. Here Come the Girls is great, and it got to about number 2 or 3 when the Sugar Babes covered it. But yeah, Lee Dorsey, Working in a Coal Mine, holy cow, just fantastic. Really pleased to get this, and it's one of those classic 60s bits of vinyl which feels like shellac. It feels absolutely like it could take your head off if you frisbeed it, and it sounds fantastic in a way that only 60s vinyl can sound. But yeah, highly recommend this. Really pleased to get it, and his previous albums are great as well. He's fantastic, Lee Dorsey, really fantastic. Next up, and again, so pleased to find this, and I think in America this is really common to find. In England, not too much, not so common. If you're a fan of sort of that sort of 60s pop, I can't remember what they called it really. Dion used to be Dion and the Belmonts. Then he became a solo artist, and he brought out this fantastic solo album where he does mainly covers. Abraham, Martin and John by, who did that? Marvin Gaye. He does a cover of Purple Haze. An amazing cover of Both Sides Now by Joni Mitchell. It's almost like loungy. It's just brilliant. Really pleased to find this. In America, you can get this for peanuts, I think. In England, slightly harder to find. A superb version of Fred Neil's The Dolphin as well. It's just a great album. Solo album by Dion. Of Dion and the Belmonts. As you can see, it looks knackered, but again, it's sort of that 60s vinyl, indestructible. Just plays whatever condition the sleeve looks like. You know that this vinyl is going to sound great, and it does. It really sounds fantastic. But yeah, his cover of Purple Haze is great on here as well. But yeah, Dion's solo album, absolutely superb. Really pleased to find it. And yeah, I've already played this about 5 times today. Superb. Next up, 12-inch singles. I'm just so into 12-inch singles at the moment. I don't know why. They're cheap as chips. And I ain't got the patience to listen to an album a lot of the time. So I love just listening to a single. And they sound great on my system. They just sound amazing because you get one track on one 12-inch bit of vinyl. We're in talking to the Sugar Babes. I've gone for Freak Like Me. The Sugar Babes covered Freak Like Me, which was who did a Freak Like Me? Adina Harris. It was like a 70s or 80s soul two-stepper, and mashed it up with Gary Newman's. I want to say Cars by Gary Newman, but I can't remember what the track is they mashed it up with. Our Friends Electric it was. So they mashed it up with Gary Newman's Adina Harris's Freak Like Me with Gary Newman's Our Friends Electric. It's a total guilty pleasure. It's a fantastic tune. And yeah, these are only like £1, so I'm in. I've got to have it. I've got a plan. When I hit 60, I'm going to retire and be like a 90s, millennium, 2000s DJ. So I'm slowly accruing all these sort of naff 2000 pop singles so that I'll be ready when I retire to start DJing them when no one else. When these things are worth about £80 each, I'll be ready. I'll have the last laugh. But yeah, Freak Like Me by Sugar Babes / Gary Newman's Our Friends Electric. Fantastic stuff. Another cheap one, Happy Mondays, Loose Fit, but this is Loose Fix. This is the remix, although it ain't much of a remix. It's a better version than Loose Fit by the Happy Mondays, but it's very similar. But it's just got some sort of layered guitars. It's easily my favourite song off Pills, Thrills and Belly Aches, which I really didn't like by the Happy Mondays. I loved Bummed before, but it ages so badly, that album, even though it made them sort of megastars for about a year in the UK. But yeah, Loose Fix, the remix of Loose Fit, Happy Mondays, good times. And on the B-side, there's a remix of Bob's Your Uncle called Bob's Tune. That's pretty good as well. Next up, if you used to attend Chaplin's nightclub in Southampton in 1991 and the DJ dropped Everybody in the Place by the Prodigy, you knew it was Handbags Down, Mayhem on the Dance Floor. I was really chuffed to find this. Everybody in the Place by Prodigy. It's kind of like the Smells Like Teen Spirit of rave. It kind of brought... It had enough of the underground going on, but it was totally commercial, and it really brought rave to the masses. And absolutely killer, fantastic video for Everybody in the Place as well, where they just walk around London with loads of very confused old age pensioners watching them doing the Running Man. But yeah, Everybody in the Place by the Prodigy. I never get sick of this. I still whack it on. I've been playing it this morning. It's absolutely magnificent stuff. So yeah, Everybody in the Place by the Prodigy. It's good. It's good as well. There's a few bonus tracks as well. It's a great little EP, this. Good times. Next up, I was pretty chuffed to find this at Record 4. Talking Heads, Nothing But Flowers. It's off that album, their last album, I think, with the monkey on the cover. Didn't like that album, but Nothing But Flowers has got Johnny Marr on it. I think it's Johnny Marr's last great moment, where he's playing that sort of juju African guitar. Absolutely superb. Love it. 12-inch single, Nothing But Flowers, Talking Heads, and I've got it really for the Johnny Marr magic. Superb. War, Platinum Jazz, came out on Blue Note this, although everyone knows War. They were a sort of Latin-y funk band. I love War. But this is fantastic. This is an odd release because it was sort of half greatest hits, half new album. And I bought this really for one reason. The opening track, War Is Coming, which is an absolute funk masterpiece. War Is Coming. Absolutely love it. Great album. And my last Record Fair purchase, Strange Games and Funky Things compilation. The UK was the compilation kings in the sort of late 90s, early 2000s. This is a great one. This is all 70s soul. It's even got it's got Roy Ayers on here, Don Blackman's Heart's Desire, which if you know that, Dee Dee Sharp Gamble, Easy Money. Also got Jose Feliciano's California Dreaming on it, which I'm not quite sure how that fits in, but that's one hell of a track, California Dreaming. But yeah, so pleased to get this. Three bits of vinyl. You've got 12 soul belters on here. And yeah, fantastic. Hard to find this compilation. I've got all 3 volumes of Strange Games and Funky Things, which is all fantastic 70s soul. And yeah, this is an absolute killer. So that's all my recent record fair buys. Hope everyone stays safe. I'm sure there'll be more videos later. And thanks for watching. Bye now.